Hi, it's the end of November 2024. Mr. Jones back again. I'm going to call this video Builders versus DIY. DIY come in for a lot of flack for not doing a good job, not being safe, etc, etc. Oh, you'll get leaks in the future, you need professionals. Well, I want to tell you a few things about the professionals who dealt with this house. It's a Victorian house, as you can see. I bought it in 2011. I was abroad at the time, so I relied on the professionals to look after me. The first professional was a surveyor. He pointed out some things such as the roof needs to be replaced urgently. Actually, the roof is still watertight and it's still fine, although I will replace it. So it wasn't an urgent. However, he missed many other things. One of the things he missed was the conservatory. I've now put a new roof on it myself, DIY, because the conservatory, which was installed not long before we moved in, the glass panels weren't sat in properly. There was a misalignment of the structure, so it leaked water around the glass, it leaked air everywhere, and importantly, the box gutter at the back, which is also the structural support, sloped away from the downpipe. Yes, away from the downpipe. So all along the back, stagnant water was sitting, and actually plants and small trees started growing out of it. Also, as a result of this, and a bad join in that same gutter, water leaked and damaged the wall where the left-hand side of the conservatory goes onto the house, and it affected the kitchen, and I can show you the damage that's inside at this point. So I have corrected all this myself. DIYer. The garage over here, the roof was falling off. Whatever mortar they used to hold the ridge tiles in place was like powder. The cheapest tiles possible. It was a disaster. So you can see I have put solar panels on, nice and flush, and I put on tap good tiles, and I've yet to get the gutter and bits and pieces on, but it's nearly finished. Now I'm going to move inside. So this is the gutter I was referring to. It's aluminium, it's structural, and it supports these beams, which support the roof, obviously. The downpipe was in this corner. Okay, that's fine. However, this gutter sloped this way down to this corner. The box gutter continued here, but was not joined with the external gutter running around the outside. So water sat in this all the time. Eventually, and unbeknown to me, there was a join at this end with the water sitting there all the time. Eventually the water seeped through the join and caused damage within my kitchen. So this is one of the walls affected on the inside. The water was coming down in this corner, affected all of this wall, which I've had to replaster, affected all along here right down to the bottom. This has taken ages to dry out. The cupboards were soaked behind. All of this missed by our wonderful surveyor, and all of this mess caused by a builder, a professional that didn't do the job properly. Having a join there, terrible, where it can't be accessed. Having it sloping the wrong way, absolutely ridiculous. But that's what the professionals did. This room used to be a bathroom. Not long after we moved in, we noticed there was a damp smell in here. And we noticed that the grout on the tiles had changed colour, or was changing colour. So I had to try and track down. So I looked at the worst area and I carefully took up the tiles, and I found that the water was coming from the corner there with the shower unit. So I thought maybe it was the drain, etc. But anyway, I took off the mixer first, and lo and behold, the pipes on the back were just pushed on. I could move them, and they'd been dripping for a long, long time. Had never been installed properly. Corrected it, but that didn't solve the problem. It continued to find leaks. It's still damp. I found the drain on the bottom of the shower was not connected properly, and there was a join in the drain, and it didn't have a proper slope. Good job, builders. Resolved all of that, but by now the floor is pretty much destroyed, and the shower's pretty much destroyed. But the damp continued. How could that be? Well, there was a toilet around here with a boxed in cistern at the back. I stripped it all off, had to destroy the tiles on the top of it, etc., to find that the water connection to the back of the system was hand tight and had been dripping for a long time. That still didn't solve the problem. There was still a patch in the centre which was getting damp. I found that there was a join in the cold water coming into the house. It comes in the wall over here, comes down and runs along and up. There was a join, badly done, even though it was copper pipe, and it was dripping. So I eventually had to strip the whole room out, top to bottom. And that's when I found there'd been a repair done to the roof and incorrect timbers had been put in. And timbers with woodworm, obviously from a long time ago, had been left. So I had to redo the whole roof. Thank you, builders. After we'd bought the house and I was still working abroad, I realised my mistake. The kitchen wasn't as nice as I thought it was. It was pretty tired and old-fashioned. So I decided we would tile throughout the conservatory, through the kitchen in porcelain tiles, and we put in a new kitchen, and we brought in a company of good reputation in Staines here. They had a big showroom, so we brought them in, they did a design. Alarm bells should have started when their design put the sink basically here, staring into a wall, whereas here there's a beautiful window looking out to the garden. But okay, the design was corrected and it was installed. But now, not many years later, majority of the tiles creak, groan, they're cracked. You see here, there's a tile taken up. Because what happened a couple of years ago is the underfloor heating, the electric underfloor heating stopped working in here. And we couldn't really quite understand why. But then this tile here cracked very badly, and you can see there's a nasty crack in the one next to it. So my way of thinking, okay, probably it's cracked, it's moved, and it's damaged the wires. And I thought, I bought some kits, proper kits for repair. I thought I'll take the tile up, which was very easy because it wasn't really attached anymore. But what I found underneath was a disaster. As you can see, they used a large amount of the adhesive, but it actually didn't stick to the tile, and it's just cracked all along its surface. The underfloor heating is embedded straight in it. Here you can see damage to the insulation, and this was obviously damaged right at the start because I can see that the conductors inside are actually corroded. Another section where the insulation has totally gone. This is my absolute favourite. They obviously knew they damaged this wire. They wrapped some insulation tape around it and then buried it in the adhesive. Quite amazing and not very professional. So apologies, this wasn't meant to be a rant, but I do get tired of seeing people on forums asking for help and builders basically saying, hey, leave it alone, you're a DIYer, you shouldn't touch these things, we are the professionals. Sometimes, yes, you are the professionals, but sadly, in quite a large number of situations, in cases, you are not. And the people live with the problem afterwards. So, this mess in my kitchen, why don't I go back to the company, these professional builders, with their big place in town, flashy, they're in Checkatrade, they're everywhere, fantastic. Why don't I go back to them? Because they went bankrupt, changed their name, and are trading elsewhere again today. And this is what happens. So, DIYers are not perfect. Please don't do anything dangerous. If you're doing electrical things, get it checked. But don't be put off by builders repeatedly saying we shouldn't do things. I'm proud of my garage roof. It is totally dry. We've just had one of the biggest storms ever come through here, and it is dry. It is perfect. My conservatory, totally dry. The water drains away perfectly. Everything dry, everything warm now, insulated, perfect. Friends of ours who just spent recently, 12 months ago, 40,000 on having a new roof done by a major company, one of the major actually conservatory companies who now do conversions, had leaks around their windows and in the flashing to a wall. Nice one.